All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3Stickity representing TKOG, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what, in my opinion, is the best deck of the format. This did not really change a lot. The ban list had some minor implications with a very small impact on consistency and resiliency. I do think that what the ban list did that affected this deck the most was actually hitting the link decoder, because it made your name plus Abyssio combos less resilient. In instances where a name plus Abyssio would typically play through 3 hand traps, now it will not play through 3 hand traps. It will actually crumble to 2 hand traps. You weren't able to just like make Ransom or Binder, get hit with like a Veiler, and take that plus the Link Decoder, make an SP, and then make another Link 3 with the same resources. And I think that's the biggest hit. I don't really think that the Dormouse and the White Rabbit and the Filspell hit were enough for me to even say that this deck was hurting for anything. I actually made a very simple adjustment for consistency. Yes, the deck is a little weaker to Ash. I think if you're playing like a Bystial Fiendsmith variant, you're going to lose out on variants, even though the ceiling is higher. If you want to play an actual Malice strategy, I think that there's a different approach you can take. But if you don't care for actually the Malice cards that much, and you don't really care on playing very low amount of starters for Malice cards, and you're more focused on the Fiendsmith and Bystial stuff, then just play that deck. That's fine. I actually like the Malice cards. I respect the strategy, and I enjoy it. It's really fun. It is like a puzzle deck. There's so much nuance to this deck and so many different applications where like your cards can do 10 different things, and it just says it does this, and you can use it 10 different ways. I just really like this deck. I love the resources that it uses. Dude, I literally love Malice, bro. I'm sorry. I know everybody hates this deck. Yeah, I made a very minor adjustment to my list, and it's been working just fine. Like I said, the biggest hit was actually the decoder, and that was literally just for like name plus Bystial or name plus Filspell. It also meant that like you would always be able to like force nib early. But Postal Light's Insight, this deck just gets like infinitely better. Like, I will trade the decoder for what we're about to get. But this is what I'm playing as of right now. I still think this is literally the best deck. For everybody that's playing like Fiendsmith decks, this is their worst matchup. This is their worst nightmare. White Binder Control and Cryptor Control is just so good, you guys. I'm going to go right into the main deck. We're going to talk about the non-engine, which is the strongest part about the pure Malice strategy, in my opinion. That is a strength that it has that like all the hybrid variants don't. Is I play more non-engine than Fiendsmith Cash does. They play around 22, 23. My non-engine count should be about 25, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we're just rocking 3 copies of Fuas. Oh yeah, definitely don't forget, bro. Most importantly, run me my likes and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. It's one click, it's free, it's easy. Yeah, 3 copies of Fuas. This is a format warping cards. This card literally just... There's cards that can't even exist in this format or exist in an environment where Fuwa is being main decked. It literally is that kind of card. 3 copies of Ash. This card is the most dynamically diverse and honestly multifaceted hand trap like of all time. It has survived the test of time. Ash is crazy strong, you guys. I'm also rocking Droll. There's a lot of changes. There are implications from the YCS that I took into note. And now there's implications from the ban list and how the ban list pretty much shook the format, turned it upside down. I don't think the format changed in the sense of like what the best decks are. I think it simply brought the best decks down to a place where everything else can compete with them better. And also the resiliency of both Ryzeal and Malice, they're going to be more prone to hand traps than they were in the past. It doesn't mean they're not going to play through a ton. It just means that they're going to play through less with the same exact hands that would normally beat 3 or not going to beat 3 anymore. And I like that. Droll is beating every single deck except mine. That's another thing that I love about Malice. It's just, it doesn't lose to Dweller. It doesn't lose to Shifter. It doesn't lose to Droll. It doesn't lose to any other hand traps. It has lines under every Mulch Army. It only loses to Lancia, and that's if you're going first and you don't have enough. But if you're going second, like you have Thrust, Board Breakers, Bystials. If it's a mirror match, bro, there's just so many options that are available to you. I also play 3 Impermanence. This is more important than it's ever been because I actually took Metaltronuses out because the format is just way too widespread for me to keep them in out of respect for just Ryzeal and Malice matchups. And I don't have enough space, like allocated stuff for my extra deck to make Metaltronus function better as a like non-engine slot. It's not that it's a bad card, it's that people are just playing too many different decks. It's like Crystron, Fire King. I mean, dude, we've got like resurgences on people wanting to play Mermails again. We've got like people running around playing freaking Blue Eyes. ABC Metaltronus always sucked against Blue Eyes, and that's a meta deck. And now like Crystron is pretty meta relevant. Fire King pretty meta relevant. Metaltronus doesn't work on any of those unless you play more bricks, like basically bricks. Like take out real slots for cards that come up so that Metaltronus is dead less. And that's my problem. If the format was more defined the way it was before the ban list, when we knew it was Malice and Raziel in every top table, yeah, I would keep playing Tronus. And I also play 3 copies of Impulse. So for these 15, I'm just going to go ahead and stop here. These have their own portion for non-engine. I think that Impulse is better than Ash. As like definitively, like Impulse can hit similar cards that Ash can hit. But I think that Impulse literally... Bro, I can explain so many times. Like, his card literally is just a life-saving hand trap. It's one of my main motivations for continuing to play Pure is to be able to main this card. Gives you such an edge in so many matchups where decks just don't have it. Or they're playing the decks like that literally fold to this. It obviously doesn't play into like Called By or Cross Out or Talent. And that's like the new Trinity. It doesn't play in the Thrust. It's just such a powerful card. It kills Fiendsmith decks. It absolutely destroys Crystron. It absolutely destroys Fire King. It claps up the mirror match. It's still good against Fiendsmith. I mean, it's still good against Raziel. I like it a lot. It's just so good. So this part is just going to stop here. So another thing with Imperm, again, I kind of got off on the wrong tangent talking about Metaltronus. The reason why it's even more important than it has been in the past is because it's an Alta Detonator. And I lost 2 Druid Swarms and 3 Metaltronus. That's 5 Alta Detonator that I don't have anymore. Even though the card's not that crazy. And it is easy to beat with Engine. Again, I really need the emphasis on, like, I can't cut Imperm now. It's more important than it ever has been. And then the other portion of the supplementary non-engine. This is non-engine that also works well synergistically with my engine. That helps me to play into boards better. And it's just going to be literally these 8 cards. So the Bystials are already what you know them to be. Druid Swarm is still not a detonator. You just literally, most people I see them like make SP or link off their Druid Swarm and just like play harder than a detonator. You just Druid Swarm them, go to battle phase, crash, damage step, Druid Swarm, send the detonator, it's gone, you know. Banish it with White Binder, keep them off of plugin, and they're never going to see the detonator for the rest of the game. So these cards are definitively the best non-engine in my deck, similar to how Metaltronus was, because it functioned like a dual-purpose card, like it put a free body on field. Every card that puts another body on field means you play through another hand trap, because every Malice that would get Impermed or Veilered or whatever, you just make a Haggard Lizardos and keep playing now. So these cards are all broken, all of them. I only played 1 Nib. It originally was for the 3 crossouts, but now it just worked out for ratios. I want to play more. I just haven't been having any problems with it, honestly. Like, my hand trap lineup is just so high, and oftentimes I'm hand trapping people to the point where they can't even play in a Nib. I'm hitting them with Fua or Droll, and they can't even afford to play in a Nib. Like, they don't even have the capacity to do it, and these 3 cards are and should be in every single person's deck moving forward. It's a lot easier. The ban list did one thing justice, is like, it's a lot easier to incorporate Crossout and Talents in every list now because they're at 1. I'm just looking on the bright side. This is like a new mainstay. Is like, I think Ash, Fua, and like Impermanences should be in every list no matter what other hand traps you run. You should have Ash, Fua, Impermanence, and these 3. Like, that's the main 12 that you just need to have in every deck to even be competitive. So moving forward, what I did was a simple change. I didn't want to go crazy. I don't like the Mathemate cards. I actually don't. I think they're really bad in this deck. Like, I feel like people just need to take that trash out of their deck, bro. They're going to learn the hard way. I don't think Mathemate Malice is, like, real. I don't like that I would be cutting Impulse and playing, like, worse cards in my deck and losing harder to hand traps that, like, Malice was never weak into Ash. And so, like, that is another thing that is noted. Basically, losing 1 Field Spell, 1 White Rabbit, and 1 Dormouse, I replaced those 3 cards with these 3. These are worse starters, but they still get the job done, and they only lose to Ash. So my deck is slightly weaker into Ash than it originally has been, but typically there's so many ways to check for Ash, like with Chessie, Terraforming, you name it. And the fact that that hand trap doesn't even work against my deck unless I have mining, it just still feels good to me. Every normal combo, all your Dormouse field spell combos just never lose to Ash. Like Ash and Dominus Purge just don't really beat your deck. They can't even beat your 1-card combos like by themselves. So we have the 3 mining, we have 3 field spells, we have Gold Sark. These 7 starters paired with the 3. This is my faithful servant right here, bro. I was playing 3 Chessie before the ban list, and I'm still going to continue to play 3 Chessie. She's my most faithful Malice. She's the ugliest one, but she's been holding me down. And then 2 copies of Mousy, 2 copies of Rabbit. Dude, we're going to get 3 more copies of this when we get that Adagnister support. I'm cooking so hard with that. And then the 3 traps. This is very simple. Before the ban list happened, I had a theory craft going on with 3 copies of TB11 and maxed out Bystials. Basically, that was because Link Decoder is legal at that time. Basically, I was just trying to draw a 2-card combo that would beat 3 hand traps every opening hand. So I maxed out on all my names. I played all 9, the field spells, Terraforming, Gold Sark, and I was playing 3 TB and all of the Bystials maxed out, like 3 Sarnier, 3 Baldrake, 3 Druis, and Magnuma. Like, I was going crazy, and I played like 3 Allure. It was just like a very hyperactive, aggressive build that still played 18 hand traps. But now, this is what I'm doing. So my list isn't anything crazy or spicy. It's just clean. It just does what it needs to do, and Malice is already good enough. I don't feel like I need to add anything into my deck. I hate that mining comes at a drawback and a cost, where a card that's not supposed to be good against my deck is good against my deck. But all the other supplementary engines you would add, Fiendsmith, that loses to Ash still. Lubellion, that's going to lose to an Ash still. Are you going to have to discard another card for cost? So no, I understand that part, the economics of mining, having to send another card for cost, it loses harder to Ash. And then stuff like the Mathmech cards, like it's the same thing. Everything that you can add into Malice to make it more consistent or better are all going to either lose to Ash and play harder into Droll, or they're just going to like flat out lose to both of the cards. So I just don't feel like there's anything better to replace. If you just want to play pure Malice and you don't want to brick, just play the 3 Sideknight Minings. You lose 3 starters, replace them with 3 starters. It's a simple fix. It's just temporary until Alliance Insight comes out, and then we don't even need this card anymore. So the deck's going to get infinitely better. Side deck, this is a treat. I'm going to show it for this video. You guys can just see where my head's at. I like the concept of post-siding to simplify the game state with Mo Charmies, and then back that up with Strong Engine and a couple breakers. So I'm actually playing 3 Perulia. I think this is going to be crazy, this format. Raziel's not going anywhere. Kristrons are going to struggle with this card. Fire King's going to struggle with this card. Murmel's going to struggle with this card. Raziel. Malice is going to struggle with this card. Pulse Alliance Insight. Malice is actually going to be playing hard into Perulia. You can get 4 or 5 draws off this thing if they full combo, which means that this is going to stop their full combo. This backed up with any other low impact like an Imperm is going to force them to play into it harder. This is really good even in right now as things stand with Bystial Malice, because you're just hand trapping Dormouse and forcing them to summon from hand again. All the new Adagnister stuff summons from hand. This card's just going to be crazy next format. It's sometimes going to be better than Fua. Meow is a very good call. This also is very good against Mementos, by the way. It's good against everything right now. Meow's just beating everything that's not Raziel. I think this card's just crazy. You cannot not get 2 draws out of this in all the decks that actually struggle with it. It's a good side out also. It's a good side in for like the Fire King and the Fire King deck, which is something that I normally didn't have good sides for. You normally get 1 or 2 draws off of it. It does stifle plays. It's crazy against Memento. It's crazy against the Mirror. The cards is actually, these are actually just, all of the Mocharmies are just crazy this format. Like, Post Alliance Insight, when Malice gets their huge power boost, I'm keeping all of these in. Like, I'm siding all 9 of the Mocharmies. I'm not playing any games, bro. All of these are going to work. Like, I just need to draw a combination of 2 of them. Even if it's 2 of the same, I'm not tripping, bro. So, yeah, I think the Charmies are going to continue to define the format the way that they have. They're just really impressive cards. And then 3 Lancia, because I still think my deck's the best. But Crystron came out of nowhere and just became a lot more popular. In addition to that, I do want to say that Orcus is going to be a deck. Orcus is going to be a thing. Punks are going to be a thing. Like, these cards are just going to be so good. This is folding. Orcus is folding to this. Christian's folding to this. ABC's, Malice. It's just still crazy. These are good against everything right now. There's, like... The only deck that I think I would never side these in is the Odeon deck. I'd rather evenly them because they can't Apophis in battle phase. But I'm not going to side evenly when I'm playing a deck people are going to side Lancias against. And then I have the Solemn Strikes. So the Thrust package with the 3 traps was going to be like DDG, Thieves Barrier, and Sanctum with 3 thrusts. But I didn't like that Thrust didn't have enough utility to be able to be a board breaker going second outside of grabbing a talent or a starter. So it just was, the variance of the card was not valuable enough. Basically, Thrust ended up being like more of a going first card to try and get a turn skip. Strike does the same thing. A lot of times it does it better. If you just back your board up with a Strike, you get Lancia, you have Strike and a couple hand traps, you're still good to go. I like these better. These are like actual breakers that really get the job done. They clean up the Ryziel field. All your Serenat is detonators. They're good in the mirror match. They're good against everything. Honestly, these should be in everyone's side deck. As far as the extra, it's going to be my girls right here. Best cards in my extra deck. Literally, please don't unicorn me. These cards are literally just the best. The cards that I make the most, I don't make hardly anything else. Most of my games, I make a Link 2 to make one of these, and after that, I just make them using their selves. So I oftentimes don't make anything else besides a Lizardos or Splash Mage plus these 3. This is all I need. I literally won more games off just Binder Cryptor and like Red Ransom occasionally than I've won off of like anything else. The other card that I summon like that comes up the most is like Access Code. Like just the moment that you get a Link 3 up, your win rate just goes so high. It just skyrockets to the roof. This deck is just crazy. Link 2s are Lizardos and Splash Mage. These are ladders, as well as Dark for the mirror match. These are my 3 ladders so that if I have an extra body, I can get to my 3. Masquerena, this helps a lot for pretty much all the Molcharmies. This is your game plan. You have SP for your About boards. Sometimes you have a Link and you can't make the IP with it, so you make the SP, clear it off with the About, bring it back. You get like 3 extra disruptions off that. We have Cerberus to make the About, and also to out the Chaos Hunters. This also used to function as a Metaltronus target for Aether Barrel, but it's just here mostly to out Chaos Hunter, and I'm also using it to make a Bao because Griffin's banned, and I still think a Bao's a good card. It's a very, very good card. It's a boss monster. Firewall made the cut again. I'm actually making this more. I'm not focusing on Griffin boards because that's gone, and I don't like the Firewall stuff. The like the Link 5 with like the Dis of this worm. I just don't like those cards. I really don't. Like I have the package to play with it, but I don't. It's so unrealistic, and it just won't happen. Like not through hand traps. This can happen a lot. You can Firewall pass through a couple hand traps. It's just really hard to like justify the crazy like Firewall package stuff. Like I like the Spell Trap Negate. I like being able to send like Pack Bit and put some in the Spell Trap zone. I just don't think if you're in a position to make those, you could have done 10 different other things that would still win you the game. And then I have a Bao, Access Code, which is basically an honorary freaking Malice card. And then Lingaribo, which never was not in my list. This card was always dominating mirror matches. It's very, very good against Blue Eyes. They Veiler your normal summon, and immediately you convert into a Lingaribo. Now you hold their Majesties at bay, because that Majesty's card is going to pop like 2 cards. And you can literally lose to like Drill Beam, Veiler, and Trap. Like, if you're not playing your cards right. So what happens in the Blue Eyes matchup now is every normal summon is going to trade with Drill Beam and Veiler, because if they don't Drill Beam this, they can't Majesty you, and Majesty is better than Drill Beam because it pops 2. So this makes like everybody kind of like just trading with 2 interruptions. It still is going to variance out the mirror matches, and definitively it's just a good card. It's a Link 1. You still need to play a Link 1 for your Bistio hands as well. I don't play 2 Link 1s. I just don't think it's necessary. I'm playing Link Spider because now your combos are weaker into Nib, because without Decoder, like Decoder was the biggest hit. And so your combos are going to be a little bit weaker than Nib. At times, the Dormouse combo is still really clean. It's still going to do everything it needs to do. But this is for your hands where you can literally just play through Nib with just Field Spell. You make Splash Mage and you're just back in the game. And then Typhon, this is still a meta call. Typhon just cannot go. He can't leave my extra deck. He's glued there, bro. He's won too many games for me. I know that Malice often cuts themselves off, but I play 25 hand traps, so when I hand trap Ryziel and they pass on Detonator, I just slap this. out there detonator, and I'm just crutch on my non-engine, honestly. I'd rather do that than lose 2 of my engine pieces into a detonator knowing that none of it's going to resolve, and then locked out of my options for my extra deck. And it's like, I either Hail Mary, SP if I can get there, but Typhon's always there for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I still think this is literally the best deck. It plays through the most interactions. It has the highest ceiling that can also still play low to the ground. It's better against rogue decks. It dominates like all that random Morganite stun deck. Like the fact that this deck just has like TB11 into MTP as like a rogue call, like it's just, this is the best deck, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my content. Leave a like. Don't forget to comment. Subscribe to my channel. Deuces is wild, yo. Peace.